between my junior and senior years, my dad asked me what I was going to do when I graduated, and I said, I plan to farm. He didn't mince words. He told the matter frankly. He said, well, you need to find something else to do, figure out how you're going to pay for it. My high school ag teacher, Mr. Ted Modis, had a wonderful life. I mean, I just admired what he had, family and kids. He farmed. He was doing all these things. So I thought, that's a pretty nice gig. I think I might like to do that. I've been teaching for 41 years, the last 30 here at Rova High School, the first 11 at Spoon River Valley down in Fulton County, and ag teacher, FFA advisor, FFA dad to a lot of kids. So our family farm began back in the 50s when Dad got out of the Korean War, married Mom, and then they located out west of Altona here in Knox County. And through that time frame, Dad was a tinkerer. He was working on an idea where he could cut down on the passes across the field and still accomplish what he wanted to be done. And so he came up with this idea of a chisel planter. And then J.I. Case Company liked the concept, had him come in. They started a division called OT. And that's why our family farm is called OT Farms, and it stands for Optimum Tillage.
I started actually working with Rod's father, Andy, and that was back when I first started 21 years ago. And eventually, as Rod became more of a bigger part of the operation, more of a decision maker, he was getting more and more involved as well. We've always come up with different ways to manage his risk. I think he's got a good baseline coverage for his bushel guarantees, and then we also back that up with solid hail and wind coverage.
It's interesting, I actually had the opportunity to student teach with Rod back in 2003. I was a student at the U of I in ag education, and then when I graduated, taught at the local area, so I was able to have him both as a cooperating teacher, my colleague, and then having him now as a client has been really rewarding because we already had that relationship, that rapport. He's such a great guy to work with that now being able to try to help his farm increase in size, and if he's got any operating needs, equipment needs, land needs, whatever that is, be able to help him with that.
In the classroom, the compeer people, they come in and help, either here or at the county fair or at the section, with the other schools. Their help. Shane helps my wife up at Galva prepare her forestry team. He goes to Knoxville, does the same thing. He helps all the schools. So it's not only localized here that they're just picking me to help. They help everybody.
Compeers helped out in such ways where we've got the Fund for Rural America. We have several farmers that might be volunteer fire department. They're involved in Ag 4-H, FFA, all those kinds of things. I think we're helping a lot of them in general that way.
The goal of any farmer is to leave it better for the next generation. I've not told my kids to find something else to do and figure out how they're going to pay for it, but they know the door is open.
Growing up, it was just like a lot of doing like 4-H and following up to eventually do FFA and like working with animals, helping my dad do all the chores, and then eventually wanting to riding the tractor, riding the combine, do all of that. And then now it's to the point where I'm getting to run those machinery, getting to involve myself more and more until eventually the point where I get to, start doing things on my own and be my own person. Right now, I'm just kind of learning more of the responsibilities of like how to run the equipment, and not only that, how to work with financials and how that's all set up, especially with like Compeer and all these people, trying to learn what my dad needs to do every day so that eventually when I get older, I know what I need to do every day.
When I was student teaching, knowing that he'd been doing it 20 years at that time, his prep period he would spend running out to the farm, checking on the guys in the field. Lunch hour, he'd eat his lunch in his truck and run out and set an auger up or move a piece of equipment for somebody. So I think that's pretty unique, somebody that can be so successful and good at farming and also be pretty much an all-star in the ag classroom as well.
When we left the farm to come in here, every house you went by was a student. The community is kids that I've had in the program, and you can't beat that. They buy my seed, fertilizer, everything are students of mine. My compeer people are close friends. The most rewarding part is that product of those kids coming out and then having their own families and raising those kids the right way. And, I'll be at a fair somewhere, state fair, county fair, wherever, or Tractor Supply, Farm King, and somebody go, "Mr. Maine?" "Yes, it is." I'll turn around and try to figure out who it is, and then they'll keep talking, and then they'll introduce their family to me. That's what it's all about.